Hi guys, the intention of this video was to put a few things into perspective regarding, you know, Armchair, Detective, green, blue, orange, well, you know, the rainbow, whatever he wants to use. No doubt he'll be making more in the future. But a few things have come to my attention, so this is what I just want to bring. I want to look at his character, because a few things people have mentioned a few things about him. So what I was going to do is I was going to look at his Patreon and some of his offences, what he's been caught doing in the past, even from 2020, and he's for the next 6 years not allowed to do a few things, some serious matters. But I'm going to have to cut it into two parts because it went on a bit too long. So this is part A. So having said all that, yeah, let's just get on with it. Today I'm carrying on with the old Armchair Detective Red, Armchair Detective Blue, Armchair Detective Green, Armchair Detective Secret Channel, Armchair Detective Let's Hide, my memberships, my Patreons, and I've heard of the more I look into this guy, it's baffling me. It is baffling me. And then to top it off, you know, I'll tell you straight, just so you know, yeah. When I was younger, I'm not too old now, but I had a mortgage, and I lied on the mortgage papers to get the mortgage. So I got done by fraud, by deception, and I'm not proud of that. I can admit that, yeah. So I got something pointed out to me, which it kind of takes me back, right? It's like something I'm kind of got a bit of familiarity with, and basically, Mr. Armchair Detective, he was a restaurateur, however, in Western Supermare, and as you can see here, he's been banned from managing companies, restaurants from Western Supermare for 6 years. It was disqualification after failing to maintain the company's books and records. Now I've looked further into this, and we will know and he is a bit of a clever dude, to be honest with you, because he could have got done, in my opinion, for an whole lot more, and he could have even gone to prison. But you know, with paperwork, when people come after you to look at paperwork, they're at a disadvantage. You know, if the paperwork's not there, they're at a disadvantage. And what they've done is, as far as I can work out here, is the paperwork. He kind of hid it, but they were very aware of it, so they've sanctioned him anyway. I mean, let's take a quick look at this. Right, Pop-Up Kitchen Limited was incorporated on June the 15th by Alan Vinicombe, 65, was appointed director at the time. The company traded as a consultancy for catering industry before taking over the license and management of the kitchen at the Blue Ball in Exeter. So is Exeter in Weston-super-Mare? I'm not too sure about that. I don't know, you'd have to let me know. Right, by October 2018, however, Pop-Up Kitchen entered into insolvency proceedings, which brought the company and the conduct of Alan Viticombe to the attention of the Insolvency Service. Okay. According to Alan Viticombe, he suspended his directorship of Pop-Up Kitchen in March the 16th due to personal reasons, and a third party took over the management of the company. However, this was not recorded at the company's house, and investigators were unable to verify Alan Viticombe's story of what happened, as the company records were not properly preserved. You know, so that there just shows you not a conspiracy. Like, he knew this could have happened, he knew this would have happened, and he planned for it, and sadly it's not like with paperwork, for instance. You can hide paperwork. Technology company, if you put it on a computer and they got over the hard drive, don't get me wrong, these people have got the power to look into everything. I know that personally, and I know that harshly. So he played it good, and he played it more, in my opinion, more writing on paper rather than computer. Or there was on computer, but they didn't get to it. I don't know, let's just keep reading. And this is all my opinion, you know. I know what to say and how to say it. So, you know, my opinion, you know, he can't say anything against me. This is public record, yeah. So one of them, just showing you, I'm just telling you. The lack of company records also meant investigators were unable to clarify the company's trading activities, what was the cause of the company's insolvency, Pop-Up Kitchen's income and expenditure, and what was tax, the company said. So let's just bring this further down. On the 3rd of June 2020, the Secretary of State accepted the disqualification undertakings from Alan Vinicombe. Is it Vinicombe? Yeah, Vinicombe. After he did not dispute that he had caused Pop-Up Kitchens to fail to preserve the adequate accounting records. So basically, it is what it is, what it's saying. He admitted to not leaving, how can I say it? Yeah, he admitted to not leaving, like, you know, the breadcrumbs, what he can be caught up on. He deliberately took actions to hide certain things and not do certain things. So if they're not there, they can't be seen. Like I said, technology, if it was on a computer and they got to hard drive, he'd have been screwed. But it's kind of like this, yeah. You take something out, you was in the shop, you're the only person in the shop, you take it out of the shop, and now it's not there, and you're the only one who's been in the shop. Obviously it's you, but the camera's not working. But at the same time, the only other person who was there was the person who works behind the counter, and he's just a regular, you know, it's not his shop, he's just a manager. So you could say, oh well, it weren't just me, it was just him, it could have been him, the camera's not there, blah blah blah. And it's kind of like that in a different sense. He's used his head here. Anyway, let's carry on. The ban is effective from the 24th of June 2020. So this is recent times. So he's jumped all on this bandwagon. the Alan Watts, and he's portraying that he's got evidence. He's portraying that, you know, he's got crumbs of codes from Chris Watts. So let's just take him at heart and his word. What's his word worth? Well, says here, the ban is effective from the 24th of 2020. So all this is why he's been dealing with that Chris Watts. So his word don't mean nothing. He's took illegal steps. He's been penalised because of that. So he's not like a stand-up citizen. So just, you know, bear that in mind. After which, so the ban is effective from the 24th of June 2020, after which the restaurateur is banned for 6 years from acting as a director or directly or indirectly becoming involved without the permission of the court in the promotion, formation or management of a company. Now, I'm just going to read this back to you guys, and there's going to be a reason for this. But you can, let me just go. Right. The ban is effective from the 24th of June 2020, after which the restaurateur is banned for 6 years from acting as a director or directly or indirectly becoming involved without the permission in the promotion, formation or management of a company. Right, I know people who use Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that. They are the manager, and when they have people for tax reasons, yeah, when you get an income, obviously for tax you pay different incomes, and you have to be, and it's classed from people who I know in the past, they're the manager of their business, and their business is YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and followers and income and adverts and AdSense and you know, donations, catch-up, Patreon, membership, all that, do you know what I mean? Patreon, all that, that's you. As far as I know, I'm not going to say this for sure, but, you know, there's a lot of people out there who can look into this more. I'm just pointing this out. But acting as a director, directly or indirectly becoming involved without the permission of the court in the promotion, formation or management of a company. Now, I'm not 100% sure, yeah, but I just know what he does and how he makes his money. There's other people who declare themselves as a company and they're the manager. One of them, do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying, well, I'm just saying that, I don't know why I'm saying it. I'm just giving you can all look yourself that what is he declaring as himself as? Is he the director, directly, indirectly becoming involved without the permission of the court in promotion, formation of a management company, which is not allowed? You know, if he's not on the dole, he's got to be paying tax somewhere. This should be looked into. I'm not, you know, I know there's a lot of other people who don't like what he does and the way he's doing this with the Chris Watts, and I've shown that without Chris Ross's channels and nothing, he can't get anything compared to when he's using Chris Watts. So if you all want to look at that, you can. I'm just pointing it out. So anyway, carry on. Rob Clark, chief investigator of the insolvency services, said preserving and maintaining company records is a basic requirement for all directors. The total lack of records in this case has been made possible for us to determine whether there was other more serious misconduct at the company, and that is reflected in Alan Vitticomb's lengthy period of disqualification. There are quotation marks, as you can see. Come on, quotation marks here. You know what? It's not letting me click on it at the beginning there and at the end. This is Rob Clark, the chief investigator of the insolvency service, saying this, that the total lack of records in this case has made it impossible for us to determine whether there was other more serious misconduct at the company, and that is reflected on Alan Vittigom's lengthy period of disqualification. So that's it. He blatantly hid. He could have got done in an old big way, and he could have got sent to prison. Obviously he could have, but he made it sure that there weren't enough evidence there to put him away or to get him charged with such and such things. But just the fact of him doing that made Rob Clark, the Chief Director of the Insolvency Service, say preserving and maintaining the records of the base is a basic requirement for all directors. You have to do it, you have to preserve and you have to maintain. Otherwise, you know what I mean, it's kind of fraud by deception. Do you get what I'm saying? And the total lack of records in this case has made it impossible for us to determine whether there was other more serious misconduct at the company, and that is reflected on Alan Vittigom's lengthy period of disqualification. And Alan Vittigom, Mr. Armchair Detective, you know, he accepted this because he'd rather like take the lesser serious punishment out of the two, and the second one being like them finding out what he did actually hide. So the reason I'm saying this is because, you know, he's pulling on heartstrings, and he has got, you know, previous of fraud and deception and hiding things and saying things and doing things. So for him to say he's in contact with Chris Watts and he's got this proof and this code, it's diabolical. And the more I'm reading about it, and the more it's peeing me off. I choose not to swear, and like I said at the beginning, when I was younger and I had a couple of mortgages, you know, what made it all bad for me? I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have lied on a mortgage application anyway. I shouldn't have. Do you know what I mean? But it was just when the credit crunch hit, and putting them together, I couldn't afford to pay the interest rates at 6.79. It was just sky high. The mortgage was like 700 and something pound a month. I could only receive 500. It weren't doable. And I paid a price for that. Do you know what I mean? And it was a lot worse a price than what he's paid here, let me tell you that. So I just want to point out that this Mr. Alan Whitcomb, Armchair Detective, unless he's showing you 100% proof, not codes, that he is in contact with Chris Watts, his word don't mean nothing. Nothing. His past history says this. You know, chief investigators of insolvency company, the services, and these are real people who have power. Do you know what I mean? We're talking the government, and, you know, stating that the total lack of records has made it impossible for us to determine whether there's more serious misconduct at the company that is reflected in Alan Vittigom's Armchair Detective and the period of disqualification for 6 years. So just bear this in mind when you're giving this Mr. Alan Vittigom money on proof what isn't proof, it's just codes. He's lied in the past, he's been charged in the past, he can't own a company. Just what, you know, he may be doing this now, he may have a company because he must be paying taxes, and to pay taxes you have to declare that it's your company. So is he not paying taxes? I don't know, I'm not looking into all that. You other guys who brought all this to me, but you know, this is just worth me something me just bringing up. So there you go. I'm gonna have a look at more things, and whether I put it in on this video I do, we'll see. Right, my intention for this video, I was going to start looking into him a bit more and break it down, but I've just realised how long this video has gone on, and I've also recorded already, which I was going to add on to this now, about his Patreon, and just go into a few things, and and a few things what are just like comical and a bit pathetic, really, you know, for a grown man. The way you just have to see it for me to do it. But that's like 17 minutes long. Well, I'll cut it down a bit, I think probably about 15 minutes long, so I don't want to add it onto this and it's going to be however long, you know, 40 minutes. That's a bit too long of a video. I've never done a video that long, I don't think. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to cut this short. Now we've gone into this just looking at his character and you know, because that says a lot about, you know, because people are talking, oh, is he scamming this, is he scamming that, and he's lying this, and you have to go by his past character and that. Well, it gives you a good inkling, do you know what I mean? So this is a start, but there's another part coming. So having said that, I'm just going to leave this for now. I'll release this again like normal at 8:30 in the morning. So having said all that for now, you all take care. Catch you on the rebound. Bye. Dum 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 dum.